Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Monday night, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. The official weapon of the show is...
phone chair.
And the unofficial sport...
bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme. Of course, you know, it's a Monday, ready to start off a new week. It's the first day of the Republican National Convention.
Oh, today the first day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Donald Trump named his VP. Lots of stuff to get to.
Okay, Chad, I don't even know what's happening over there.
I know.
Fill me in.
That's what the show's about. Do you have any banter?
Mm-mm.
All right. I don't think I really have any either. I'll just double check real quick. I don't think I have any. Oh, yeah. I don't have any. All right. So let's just get into the show stuff. So let me play a beat. That one's called Reminisce by Infrared Crypto. All right, so I guess just political news, there's a lot of it.
Okay.
Trump picked J.D. Vance as his vice president today.
Woo! Somebody I didn't even know was on the list.
J.D. Vance is a dude that used to hate Trump, called him America's Hitler, and now he's like, you know, America's Hitler? Like, I don't know.
With a question mark.
Like, I don't know. I just think it's funny because my man Tim Scott did all that shucking and jiving for nothing.
Yes, he did.
Oh, my goodness.
Got that robot wife.
What's he going to do with that white lady? Now that he got I hope he kept the 90-day receipt on that white woman.
So you got to return to sender?
I'm going to tell you right now, the wedding's off.
They are not getting. I will be shocked if they get married.
I know he ain't getting married for no cabinet position. Now, vice president, sure, go ahead and do that. Do what you got to do. You know, Lenore and Rhaenyra style wedding. But this shit, you did all that. I love Trump. I love him. Like, remember he got up there and did that.
Can't nobody do you like Trump. Like, we didn't all see you do that, sir.
Yeah, like I just love you. You know, that shit was so cringy and scary and sad. It just
wasn't it though.
You know, like and I never thought that Trump would pick a black VP anyway. Just because it's Trump and he's, you know, has a long history of anti-blackness.
And I never thought he was going to pick a woman. You know, I was like, y'all, he not picking a woman.
Yeah, Nikki Haley blew it anyway because she was the most anti him and still ended up. I guess I don't understand.
Vote for him.
I don't understand politics in that way. I'm sure the polls justify everything that they do. But honestly, I just don't understand playing this game of like, get down and lay down with Trump. If you fight him, you should fight him to the end. I don't know why you would stop, because it just makes you the last person to stop, which makes you the weakest person to everyone else. It's like, oh, you took the longest to get down. We definitely not fitting to hit you with no cabinet positions or nothing.
Or nothing.
And you're not considered an alternative to Trump because at the end of the day, you laid down for him.
Yep.
I think this is the clip of that speech.
Where we've done really well, where I've done well, we have a great governor, lieutenant governor, and great everything, because almost every one of them have endorsed me. 2 great senators, which is hard. I mean, did you ever think that she actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of her state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's why he's a great politician.
And that's why he's not vice president.
Nope, Trump takes shit like that personally. You interrupted him while he was talking.
No, that's not what I mean. No, what? I don't think Trump cares he interrupted him while talking. I don't think Trump is mad at him. I don't think he holds a grudge. He's never going to select a black vice president. But I'm saying he's a cuck. He's fucking. I just love you. He was insulting you, essentially.
Yes, he was.
Like, you know, like you couldn't even get the endorsement from your own politician in your own state. And he's like, but I just love you. Like, what a, you know he is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I don't know what's so hilarious. Oh, I know. You're a coon.
Just sad, bruh. Went out sad, begging, dancing for him.
Ain't gonna be on nobody's board, nobody's committee.
Right. And JD Vance is like terrible. Obviously, it's everything you thought about. He wants to outlaw abortion. Period. You know.
Yeah, Trump ain't gonna do what he did last time.
In all cases, by the way. In all cases.
Oh yeah, he don't give a fuck. Yeah, and it's also one of those things too where Trump is going to be sure that he's going to have a vice president that will do exactly what he wants him to do. He learned from Pence, and he was like, no, if something else happens like that again, you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do. You're not trying to quote unquote obey the laws and no shit like that. Particularly after the Supreme Court told him he could do what the fuck he wanted to do.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting. You can't run with your old vice president because, you know, your January 6th, you had people ready to kill him.
Yes, you did. And if I was this vice president, how do I know that won't happen again, regardless of what I do?
These motherfuckers are craving.
Yep, all it takes is one slip up, or Trump say something, or the crowd feel a certain way. Next thing I know, because the thing is Trump, it's not you. And people don't give a fuck about, particularly the sycophants. They don't care nothing about you.
I'm just saying they don't have any respect for themselves. They don't have any self-respect. Like it's ridiculous. At the RNC tonight at their convention, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, who at one point in time, when just a week or two ago, was talking about Joe Biden after the debate and saying that Joe Biden can't say anything that's not on a teleprompter. That's how messed up his brain is right now, blah, blah, blah. So he was saying that on Fox News, and then something happened to him today when the teleprompter stopped working at the RNC.
Unless the president is reading off a teleprompter, I don't think he's capable of making these big decisions, and that is something that should alarm all of us, and it's something that we need to be talking about. I think people are...
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce the Attorney General, and there goes the teleprompter.
Now, if you made it that far into your speech, and the only thing you have left is to introduce it sounds like you just need to say his name.
Yes, then you could walk off the screen after that.
Right.
Because the teleprompter, you didn't have to tell us that the teleprompter was gone. Like people in the background, they know the teleprompter went out or glitched or purpose or I don't know what happened. But all you got to do is say the name and walk off the stage. But damn, do we not know the dude's name?
He just walked off the stage. It's interesting.
Wow.
You know, this, like, I understand. I welcome the discussion and the debate and all that shit that liberal people want to do about Biden and replacing him and stuff. I get it. But at the end of the day, the reason I don't budge is because of shit like this.
Right.
And it's not like I want to be Republican or nothing. I'm not dedicated to no code of Biden. That's not that. It's just, bruh, there are no standards over there, and our standards are hurting us.
Yep.
Our debating and arguing and quibbling and he's gonna lose. Everybody's saying he's gonna lose. It's not helping us. Those motherfuckers never say, damn, Mike Johnson, that's a bad look. They just act like the shit didn't happen. We laugh about it on our side and then we move the fuck on. Nothing ever happens about it. So I just like it. This guy sounded like a lot of Democratic liberal people. Like, I don't believe he's senile. He can't say nothing. He ain't on the teleprompter. This man, this is crazy what's happening to him. It's elder abuse. He doesn't know anything. And then this motherfucker goes immediately can't see the teleprompter, loses his shit. Biden's done multiple appearances since the debate. None of them shit the bed like that. But it is what it is. Standards are non-existence over there. It's in hell. But I just thought that was like a ironic moment of you talking that shit and you can't even fucking talk without the goddamn teleprompter for real.
Right, and not trying to find out who knows if it was accident and or on purpose, because they do bullshit sometimes. But you go, who knows?
Elon Musk want to be Mr. Me Too, because he said, "Hey man, they tried to. 2 people tried to assassinate me in the last 8 months. Y'all just ain't heard about it. That's all. I'm just like Trump. He also went and donated a shitload of money to Trump, too."
Sir, if you don't get out of here.
Dangerous times ahead. 2 people have already tried to kill me in the past 8 months. They were arrested with guns about 20 minutes drive from Tesla headquarters in Texas.
What? This is not the same. Where they're sitting on top of a rooftop across from the Tesla building waiting for you to come out to snipe you?
First of all, they probably just want a refund on their cars. They're like, the goddamn door don't work if a 9-volt battery stop working.
Right. They was like, I want my money back on this Tonka truck. If it get below 50 degrees, the bitch won't start.
Also, that don't count.
No, it does not.
One of y'all at least got shot at. You like, police pulled 2 people over that had guns in Texas. They must, listen, that's assassination attempts to me. Same thing.
No, sir. And you're not the president of the United States either.
Now, the thing I really want to talk about.
Or former president.
The thing I really want to talk about with this is something that I didn't talk about yesterday because I knew it was coming, but it just felt like, we could wait till this happens. But the double standard on the coverage of this shit is going to be fucking bananas, and it already started off that way.
This is why I have a whole bunch of pushback, and this is another reason why I don't really talk to people online about it, because when you talk about this, they won't talk about everything but just how it's being covered. Like, talking about it and how it's being covered are 2 different things. And in my opinion, when media stopped being about media and media started being about profit, and you started having these entities come in that these equity groups and shit buying up shit all across the country, all of a sudden facts and background check and doing the things that journalists do went down the drain. And once you do that, and news started being 24 hours and all these other things, just the foundation of media and how things are covered changed, at least in my personal opinion. And so I think that the media did this public a disservice the first time Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, and the media is still doing the public a disservice now.
Yeah, and it's not neutrality. Like, this is the thing that I think people are having. I was talking last week on Keith and the Girl to Keith Malley about this just today earlier, and I think maybe people are having a hard time hearing what folks are saying, and maybe people are having a hard time expressing it. I'm gonna try my best to explain it in the way that I think is accurate. I don't think people's problem is in a vacuum. Oh, folks always are calling for Joe Biden's job. I don't really think that's the problem in a vacuum. I think the vast majority of people that are going to vote for Biden have criticisms of Biden. It's not a cult. It's not. That's not what people signed up for on that side. And there's always pressure to be better if you're a Democrat. That's just the facts. It is what it is. That's life. But I think when people say stuff like there's a media blitz afoot, there's an organized campaign to push this dude out of office, despite what the voters even think, despite what the primaries said, despite everything, they've just decided it's time for him to go. Right. Now, that, once again, understand my point. I'm not even saying that's unfair. That's not the part that's really unfair. If someone truly felt that a person was doing a bad job as a president and was not able to maintain that, whatever it takes to be president, and people in mass decided not even people in mass, the media, pundits decided what we are seeing is so bad, it would be a dereliction of my duty of a person that calls balls and strikes to not come out here and say this guy should go, right? Fine, fair, that's fair. I think what people are having a hard time expressing and are upset by is that never happens for Trump. And it's not something you can dismiss away like, yeah, but we know the Republicans won't get rid of him. That's not the fucking point. The point of the New York Times isn't to go, well, we know Democrats will do what we tell them to do, so that's what we're going to use our platform for. No, you're supposed to be objective, remember? You're just, I see someone unpresidential, they should not be in charge of this country. When it comes to Trump, they don't do that. And there's been a lot of moments they could have. After the insurrection, there should have been hey, this man can't run again. Editorial. Right. Days of the Daily, days on end of like, this man cannot run again. He should not. The Republicans have to do something. There's not that.
It was crickets.
The sexual assault conviction. There's not that. The hush money trial. There's not that. There's many instances. And that's and the reason I'm going to point out that it's unfair is we're talking about that debate, okay? That's fine. If you felt after you saw that debate Joe Biden shouldn't be president, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. But the next 2 or 3 weeks have just been them like, he messed up a name. Okay, now you changed the bar. Understand how fucked up the debate was. Now we're turning it to like, well, he said something he didn't mean to say that. Okay, if that's the line, then that's got to be the line for both sides. Right. You can't just, that's the line for Joe Biden, not the line for Trump. Because if you do that for Trump and you're writing op-eds and you're making breaking news every time he misspeaks, you understand that there's no point in that. You understand that's actually not really news. And what's sad is that it took an assassination attempt for people to kind of get back to like, but what is really news? Right. Because the cycle of Joe Biden should step down actually should have ended about a week after when he was like, I'm not stepping down. The DNC puts out a statement, he's not stepping down. They get in formation, unified message, probably a lie, but still a unified message. Hey, we didn't even talk about him stepping down. That's it. It ain't gonna happen. There's 4 months to the election. We got to move on to the next thing. If it would not have been for this assassination attempt, I think they still would be trying to push him out.
Top story.
I think even past the once he's elected, once he's selected at the primary and it's confirmed, I think they still would have done it. I think they'd be doing it in October. It just, something so crazy happened that they had to be like, oh, whoa. That's not as big a news story as this thing.
Correct. That's the only thing to stop people from talking about it. Not that it won't come back.
Right.
But that's one of the things.
It'll never pick up the same amount of traction unless he has to do another bad debate level performance for that story to pick up traction. Right now, I mean, it's been 3 weeks. And I said this when it happened with that debate. And people were like, that's how he is all the time. I said, you're fucking up because you're making the bar so low, he can clear it. Now, if you were to just be like, he's lost a step and I just don't think he should be president, period, anymore, then you might have something. Because at least every time you see him, you be like, well, he's still old. That's what the fuck my problem was. It's not really that debate. It's just the general idea of him being that old. But what happens, people try to move the goalpost. That debate, he's like that all the time. And then when he's not like that, they go, yeah, but he fucked up a couple words. Can we admit that? And it's like, yeah, but that's not the same. He's been fucking up words since 2014. He's been fucking up. Y'all thought it was adorable when he got elected when he was selected as the vice president. It was like, this guy's gaff-proof. When he ran for president before, and he said like macaca and orient and told a man in a wheelchair to stand, people, the Daily Show laughed at it.
Yes, they did.
So like, this flub thing is not new. It's just people trying to smooth the goalpost from the debate to the flub thing. Like, this is the proof now, and it's not really the proof of anything. That to me, to other people, they've decided that that's the proof. But when I say the coverage of this assassination attempt is really the story, this morning CNN pulled Morning Joe off the air.
Why? Ain't that their number one man? Don't he get some of the highest ratings on the fucking channel?
According to Christopher Webb on Twitter. So I don't know, if this man is the preeminent voice on anything like that. I can't say that, but shit, not Christopher Webb. According to, let's go to the article. That's better. According to CNN.com or whatever, they pulled him because of the Trump shooting, and they said that given the complexity, this is not from him, this is from the article. Given the gravity and complexity of this unfolding story, NBC News, NBC News Now, and MSNBC have remained in rolling breaking news coverage since Saturday evening. As we continue to cover the story into a week, the networks will continue to cross simulcast, alternating between NBC News Now, and MSNBC reports. So there's one news feed covering the developing situation, right? But also, according to a person familiar with the matter, told CNN that the decision was made to avoid a scenario in which one of the show's stable of 24 guests might make an inappropriate comment on live television that could be used to assail the program and network as a whole. What the fuck is that?
And what does that even mean?
Somebody might say something wrong because they have a rolling. They have a lot of guests on the show, and the host. It's like, they might not cover this right. They might say something that offends Trump, something that offends Republicans, something that pisses people off, and that would make people feel like it's a bad reflection on the show and on I think they come on MSNBC, so on MSNBC as a whole.
But that never stopped them before. They've had people coming out all the time saying all types of shit.
Last year,
after
October 7th, with Hamas attacking Israel, they quietly pulled 3 of their Muslim broadcasters off the air. That move came after some pro-Israeli forces criticized the tone of MSNBC's coverage. So my point being here, I think the reason that they don't want these folks on the air talking about this, and once again, this is why people say this coverage is unfair.
Right.
So when you hear people saying that it's not fair, they're not just saying like, why y'all picking on Joe Biden? This is choices that are made editorially at the highest level.
Right.
Where people are saying, we're not doing opinions on this. But the Daily Show didn't do a show today.
What?
Right.
What? But fucking 3 weeks of goddamn Joe Biden stumbling over his motherfucking words. 3 goddamn weeks of that bullshit?
Yeah, they've got to go reassess the situation or something. But the point being, like, when I talk about the bias in this conversation that if you want to call it that we're having, the bias is y'all might say something. First of all, it's your job to say something. So you're telling them not to do their job.
Correct.
Right? 2, what do you think it is they're worried about them saying? Do you have a thing? I think I know what they're worried about them saying, but what do you think it is?
Just something to make Trump mad because they actually care about what Trump thinks. Because nothing else would make sense. Like nothing else literally makes sense. Your fucking news cycle network, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your whole job is to cover the motherfucking news. And think about the Daily is that when Joe Biden flubbed, y'all did articles, y'all didn't stop. So why all of a sudden this is the thing that you decide not to come on? Like the
Daily Show.
Yeah, the Daily Show. Like if this would have happened years ago, y'all have came on and covered it, and probably may have even cracked jokes about it because that's the fuck he does. Here's
why I think the Daily Show's not doing their show today. Here's why I think MSNBC took these people off the air. Is because they're gonna say the truth, which is that the violence the rhetoric has always come from that side.
Yes.
And so the Republican guy who shot at the Republican candidate at the Republican rally is a call coming from inside the house. And they don't want anyone to say that because the outrage flopping on that side is they're gonna get mad at like you disrespected the people who died, or you disrespected Trump, or you disrespected whatever. Meanwhile, you don't have to look far to see many prominent Republicans not just courting violence, but threatening violence and promising violence and accusing people of things that should make people want to hurt them. You know, there's a video of Donald Trump. I don't know if you remember this, but when Nancy Pelosi's husband was basically
that dude broke
almost
in.
killed. He was,
right.
a guy tried to murder him.
Yes.
This was Donald Trump's response at the time of it.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
But now we got to pull people off the air because they might say something insensitive. We got to be serious at a time like this. We can't hurt they fee-fees. No, like, you know what I mean? By saying like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
You can't, like, here's a time. It's the you can't say it is too soon after the shooting. You can't say it is too late after the shooting.
Right. There's
You can't say it.
Talk about
right.
it. Just tell the truth.
But it's so interesting what is happening with this the tenor of this discussion, because it does lead to discussion. It does make people feel like, yeah, you can't say that shit. No, it's the only fucking thing that's true right now.
Right, tell the truth, because
you're at a rally and people's shirts have threats against politicians on them.
Yes.
Like that, and it's one side.
Yes.
Like when they said Joe Biden needs to bring a calming voice and really de-escalate this situation, let me tell you something. I don't have a problem with Joe Biden. I like Joe Biden. I think he's a good president. Joe Biden can't do shit about this. Why can't he do shit about this? Because he ain't do shit to start this.
Right.
Joe Biden ain't the one being like, we gotta kill somebody or we locking somebody up or none of that shit. They not sharing merch. They not selling merch at the campaign events that show Trump tied and bound and on the back of somebody's truck like he's in the trunk of like they're not doing that. So the side that would need to de-escalate is that side to be like, guys, we gotta calm the fuck down. We done fought every gun law, can't pass any gun legislation,
right?
And we're just rallying people up in the name of white supremacy. And many of these people unstable, and we've done our best to make sure unstable people have access to guns.
Yes, you don't want them to get checked. You don't want people's mental health to get checked. You don't. It's like, here's a gun, fuck it.
Yeah, so like it's this weird gaslighting where like what's offensive is if you bring up that they've been doing that right now. You got to go off the air for a day. And look, I don't know what's happened at the Daily Show. I haven't watched it since Trevor left.
Me either.
I've seen clips of Jon Stewart. They've been clips that feel like why I stopped watching when Jon Stewart was on the air. No offense to Jon Stewart, but he's still mostly a white dude that his version of impartiality to me is not as impartial as he would think it is, right?
Right.
Which is fine. I don't
right,
think
yeah.
It's just not for me. His style is not for me.
Mm-mm.
But I don't know why you would take a day off to do this.
Right.
I mean,
ain't this the only day of the week you work?
Yeah, I am interested how they're gonna cover it, because honestly, the obvious thing would be to show Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Trump himself, many other Republicans, not just escalating and accusing Democrats of violence, but escalating the language, calling people groomers and pedophiles, holding AR-15s, holding guns, taking Christmas pictures with their kids holding
their
guns.
whole families, yes.
Like showing that and then being like, this Republican shot up the event. It just seemed like a fucking layup. Maybe you don't think, maybe you need time for it to be funny, but that show ain't really been trying to be funny about a lot of shit for a while.
Right.
Why is everybody taking the day off?
Right.
No one took the day off after Biden's flood. Like after his debate, nobody was like,
that's what I said.
Time for a day off. Motherfuckers been on his ass for weeks.
Yes, they have.
This is a Republican problem. Mass shootings in America is a Republican problem. It's a white male problem. It's a gun control problem. what the fuck are we waiting on?
Right.
You know, they showed the on the news, they showed the dude that died. He's a firefighter, and Trump and them were starting to go fund me for him. It's at $4 million. I wouldn't trust. I trust Sean King with the money before I trust Trump to give it to that family.
That dude ain't never ain't gonna get a dime. He gonna come around and probably sue Trump or some shit like that. I ain't get it. No, cause child, all that money, it's going towards Trump's funds and taking care of them, probably paying them lawyers.
Right, and so it's interesting watching that unfold because they were, he died. It's sad. So I'm watching the news, and what's the news saying? Hey man, he was all about love and family, and he give you a shirt off his back, salt of the earth, great guy, blah blah blah. And I am at home by myself, and all I'm thinking is bullshit, because to be on that stage behind a man who is a white supremacist who is running on racial grievance and nationalism, no one on that stage is just I just love family and the salt of the earth and I want everybody to be good. You can't be. You wouldn't be over there.
Yes.
That man is not on stage to tell you any of that shit. So they found his old tweets. He was like a Republican reply guy, some racial overtones, some nationalistic overtones. Of course. Why are we sanitizing this for them? Now, when it came to the Democrats and Joe Biden, we needed the truth. We don't need to clean nothing up. We need the stone cold, sober truth. Ain't nobody taking no days off.
Yes.
No one's worried about someone saying something reckless. Matter of fact, they were putting anonymous reports. Anonymous Democrat. We ain't gonna say who. Anonymous Democrat say Joe Biden definitely finna lose.
Right. We ain't gonna say it with our chest. We just throwing shit at the wall. Days and days and days of all your political podcasts. Day after day after motherfucking day. They found a new way to twist this to talk about Joe Biden.
Yeah, like when we go low, they go high shit. This is it, guys.
Right.
Motherfuckers is going high right now with we not gonna talk. We just gonna take the day off. I guess we going high. Well, we're working today. I'm telling the truth. Fuck that shit. The wife, there was a news article where he talked with her. Helen told the Post that President Joe Biden tried to call her. This is the wife of the firefighter who was killed. But she declined to speak to him since her husband was a devout Republican and he would not have wanted me to talk to him. 53%. But she added that she does not hold the current president responsible for what happened to her family. I don't have any ill will towards Joe Biden, she said. I'm not one of those people that gets involved in politics. I support Trump. That's who I'm voting for, but I don't have ill will towards Biden. He didn't do anything to my husband. A 20-year-old despicable kid did, she continued. The family has not heard from Trump, she added. Have not heard from Trump.
Of course not. Because he don't care.
One of these motherfuckers a president.
He don't care.
One of these motherfuckers does presidential things.
And said, this person died, I'm going to reach out to them, right?
One of these people recognizes a national tragedy and you don't go golfing the next day and with people in the hospital without your ear being wrapped up, by the way. Some people seem to be a little bit more presidential, but they're telling me they're incapable of being the president. It's on the teleprompter, something, right? And this other person just gets a pass on everything.
It don't make sense. If you're going to cover it all. If they old, bitch, they both old. They both around the same age. If Biden's too old, Trump's too old too. And that was my thing. If we gonna get into the old shit, if we gonna get into all this shit, let's talk about it. And the media should be covering it the same. They should say both these niggas old. That should be what they stand on, 10 toes down. And it ought to be covered all the time, every day until November. But it's not equal.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Like I said, this is why I empathize with those people that are trying to express something, because they keep getting cut off at the knees before they can fully flesh out that thought, which is the problem isn't that the media decided there's some standards for Joe Biden and he's not clearing them. The problem is the media never decides their standards on the other side. And unfortunately in this world, that means you're playing a rigged game and you can't afford to keep trusting we'll kind of like heckle Joe Biden and kind of shit on him, but we'll expect him to still win. No. Now you have to go be a good soldier and be like, yeah, we not shitting on Biden. Till y'all fucking keep that same energy. When y'all not taking days off so you don't have to say the obvious truth, which is like, y'all courted this violence. Y'all courted it. Not that y'all deserve it. Not that y'all want the violence towards you, but y'all kept stoking the fucking fires. It's not a both sides. I saw an article. Both sides need to calm down the rhetoric. What rhetoric is happening from Democrats that is saying anything like this shit?
The Democrats ain't got all most of the guns in this country. What are we talking about here?
This is like this is not gotcha shit. This is very easily understandable, easy to find. Like, yes, you said that shit. It wasn't too long ago Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying that shit. Like, we're not, it's if anything, it's the audacity of never having standards, never having anyone demand they step down. That's what's really fueling a lot of this shit. Cause they're like, oh, I can say what I want to. I can get away with anything. What they gonna say? They not gonna say shit. Marjorie Taylor Greene, pray for America. The left wants a civil war. They have been trying to start one for years. These people are sick and evil. All of us on the right want peace, security, equal justice, freedom, and prosperity for all Americans. Trying times ahead. Hold fast to your faith in God. Okay. Meanwhile, shout out to Jamel Hill, who went and said,
did the work.
Girl, you are the easiest dish you of all time. This is from from February 2023. We need a national divorce. We need to separate by red states and blue states and shrink the federal government. Everyone I talk to says this. From the sick and disgusting woke culture issues shoved down our throats to the Democrats' traitorous America Last policies, we are done. Marjorie Taylor Greene indicated support for executing prominent Democrats in 2018 and 2019 before running for Congress. Marjorie Taylor Greene says if she ran January 6th Capitol attack, we would have won. In a subsequent statement, she said, I was just making a joke.
You a fucking politician. The fuck are we talking about here?
Red states can choose in how they allow people to vote in their states, Greene said. What I think would be something that some red states could propose is, well, okay, if a Democrat voters choose to flee these blue states where they cannot tolerate the living conditions, they don't want their children taught these horrible things, and they really change their mind on the types of policies that they support. Well, once you move to a red state, guess what? Maybe you don't get to vote for 5 years. Like this, what are y'all talking about?
Right.
This is the shit that is stoking the culture war, and then they just keep being like, it's them. And meanwhile, our media is not fucking neutral.
Right.
They are clearly in on the shit because they're just like, well, that's their side. What do you mean? Do your fucking job.
That's my whole point. Do your job. That's why I keep saying the media is doing the general public a disservice. There are a lot of people who are politically aware. There's some people, politics is their thing, like they really know it. But then for the most of us, we're politically aware. We might not know all the bylaws and all that shit, but we are aware of what's happening. And then there's another subsection of people who actually go to the media to actually hear and be like, okay, what's really happening? I work 3 jobs. I don't have time to get into the political shit. I don't got time to spend time on Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff. I'm clicking on the news to actually see what the fuck is happening. This is why I say you're doing a disservice to the masses.
Just keep the same energy, dog. That's all. I don't mind. Y'all want to be super critical and hard on the left? Be hard. Be hard on the right too.
That's all I said.
Don't be like, oh, we can't be hard because they won't do nothing. What the fuck that mean?
What does that mean?
I thought you had a job. I thought you were neutral. Meanwhile, George Stephanopoulos got people are mad at him because he suggested Trump is to blame for the violent rhetoric. He said he kept that same energy. He went on ABC's This Week, which is his show. And he said, of course, President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric as well. And motherfuckers are like, what the fuck how can they say this? The fuck are you talking about?
Right.
They listed examples from it. As a matter of fact, I think I can play it. Give me a second.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like, you can't say this shit, basically, is what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. They're trying to just basically gaslight us into not saying the shit.
Our Chief Global Affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz. Martha, I know you've traveled around the country talking to voters in our deeply divided nation right now. In some ways, this is a horrific symptom of the underlying division in this country.
It certainly is, George, and I'm sure that will probably continue. We saw President Trump raise his right hand, as John just described, and we've seen those pictures. We could also see him.
Oh, okay. Give me a second, everybody. All right. It should go away.
Say what I believe was fight. That was his first instinct. And this is a country divided. This is a country, we saw the violence yesterday, the horrific violence yesterday. And we've seen it in places. And we've also seen this morning, we've heard President Trump say he wants the country to come together, to be united. But others are directly pointing the finger at President Biden with, of course, no evidence that he incited this or had anything to.
It's what they do. It's their playbook. It's always y'all that's trying to change shit. You know, that Project 2025 shit they want to do. Before this, they were like, it's deep state government actors that aren't in the government but want to control America. You read up on Project 2025. It is them having a bunch of motherfuckers with money who aren't elected in the government trying to change the laws that have been decided already with money and power because they just fucking can. They are always pointing the finger at the opposite shit that they are.
Right, it's a distraction.
To do with this assassination attempt. We heard J.D. Vance, Senator J.D. Vance, who is one of the leading picks for vice president, in a tweet say, this is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Again, there is no evidence of that. We do not know the motive of that shooter at this point. And others also, Ramaswamy, Vivek.
And they were saying this stuff before anyone knew anything about that shooter, really. But they've actually been doing that for years now with social media. Republicans hop on top of whatever mass shooting just happened, and they start a disinformation campaign immediately. This person is trans. This person is actually a Democrat. And as long as the lie hits before the truth drops, their side has their lie. They will fight on that lie. They'll live with that lie. They don't go back and go, oh, correct, the information came out that guy was a Republican. No, Joe Biden made this person do this. They're going to stick to that, period. They won't be going back to be like, damn, it was a Republican. Maybe we need to change some stuff.
Ramaswamy saying President Biden's ritual condemnation of political violence are insufficient. No amount of verbiage today changes the toxic national climate that led to this tragedy, saying that Trump's safety is nothing short of an act of God. And I think you'll see a lot of supporters thinking the same thing. And also, George, we have to point out, no matter who the shooter, what the shooter's motives were, no matter who the shooter is, you are going to hear conspiracy theories going forward.
No question about that. But as you point out those statements from J.D. Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy, of course, President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric as well.
Well, absolutely, George. We were just looking back this morning at some of the things that former President Trump has said. He warned last March of potential death and destruction if he were charged by the Manhattan District Attorney. Our country is being destroyed as they tell us to be peaceful. Trump in January warned of bedlam in the country if the criminal charges against him succeeded. And of course, in March, he said, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That will be the least of it. He said he was partly joking and that was taken out of context. But those are indeed his words. And you have heard it from supporters as well. And supporters are certainly in some parts angry. And let's remember January 6th. In so many ways for the campaign, January 6th will probably be in the background after yesterday's event. This is a very difficult time for this campaign. I'm sure this week in Milwaukee that President Trump will highlight this, and President Biden is going to have to figure out how to go.
Yeah. And all they did was state facts. She was like, this is what he said. Mm-hmm. He even said he was joking. Like she literally quoted exactly the words that were, you said, it's tape, it's video, it's evidence, and they're like, we don't give a fuck.
Right. And now he's under fire, whatever fuck that means, like he did something wrong.
This is their job. This is what media is supposed to do. All jokes aside, like, this is what MSNBC, like, this is your job. These are the things that you are supposed to do. Go investigate who, what, when, where, why, and how. Tell the people what happened and let the people decide from there.
And I'll give Stephanopoulos his credit because he was very critical of Joe Biden after the debate. Like, very, like, to the point where it's like, damn, bro, for real. But that's the closest I've seen to somebody being like, I'm just calling balls and strikes, dog. It ain't really about what side is going to look better or win.
And that's just fair.
This is what I feel like this is what I see happening. Here's the backup for me saying that. And they're like, yeah, you can't do that. You're hurting those people's feelings who say feelings, fuck your feelings, and you know, let's go Brandon and shit like that. You know, this is the environment that this is being discussed in. Meanwhile, they said they spotted that shooter 26 minutes. He was on the roof before the assassination attempt.
26 minutes?
26 minutes.
How a nigga gonna be on the roof for 26 minutes and nobody say, hey, what you doing up there?
Yeah, it's a bombshell new report claims that he was on that roof, spotted 26 minutes before he opened fire.
I'm surprised he made it that long, because, I mean, wow, that's just a lot, because, you know, once he shot, they basically shot him dead, but it's like, that's
he got off like 5 or 6 shots before they shot him, but yeah.
Right, but the thing is, these are professional, like, and somebody should have spotted him.
Well, witnesses spotted him and were telling the police. They were actually saying, hey, there's a guy on the roof over there. Police, can y'all see him? People have recorded this on their phones. You can see it on Instagram. Like, so it's not like a secret. An officer went up there, but the officer didn't have a gun. And so when the guy pointed his gun at the officer went back down, and then I guess that's when he started shooting. Yeah, they said alerted law enforcement to Crooks as he crawled to his shooting position, but he was still able to shoot. Law enforcement officers at the event in Butler, Pennsylvania are facing intense scrutiny.
Yeah.
As it was revealed, the roof was flagged as security vulnerability.
Which means somebody should have been up there.
Yeah, and apparently the way Secret Service and stuff works, it's like you don't control the whole area. So police do some and you do some.
Right.
Supposedly that was in the police jurisdiction, not the Secret Service jurisdiction. And I guess the police dropped the ball, according to Secret Service.
And that makes sense, because they're like, hey, we got the area the closest. Once we get to a certain range, it is your job to actually protect outside of that, because, you know, this is your city, so you should know. And I'm pretty sure they got, you know, all types of schematics and shit like that. They was like, here. I'm pretty sure somebody somewhere has something that had this building circled.
Well, they said they flagged it as a vulnerability.
Right. And
well, you know what else is interesting is that I'm reading now, the cop was armed that saw him. The sheriff said one of his armed officers encountered the gunman seconds before he unleashed carnage. That officer has not been named. He retreated when Crooks pointed his AR style rifle at him. Here's the thing. Same thing happened with Uvalde. This is why this pro-gun bullshit is not cop friendly at all.
Nope.
And cops, no matter how we lionize them in our media, are people.
Yes, they are.
Whenever they shoot a black person, they always say, what? I was afraid for my life. They get afraid. They get scared. Now, a lot of times they seem to be afraid of the skin color because they shooting black people for holding wallets, you know, drinking, driving, calling people because they have mental health issues. They just shooting. They rolling up on black people, period. They just shooting them right away. They scared for their life. Apparently he was scared for his life and he retreated. Uvalde, they were scared for their life and they retreated.
It's because they passed laws that said the guns that you have is stronger than the guns that I have, and you turn around and blow my brains out.
And for cops to go get the guns that are as powerful as an AR-15, as if, to be honest, I don't really think that matters how powerful the guns are, because if we're going to be real, if a motherfucker got an AR-15 and you got an AR-15, y'all both got shit that can kill each other. And one of y'all is probably not afraid to die. So guess who loses that chess match? The motherfucker that's the cop that's like, I'm not dying for these kids.
Right.
I'd rather be alive and those kids be on their own today. That's the real truth. That's the ugly shit we don't want to talk about. When faced with these fucking killer weapons, these assault rifles, this the reason you have to ban them, is because all that gung-ho shit we hear about cops is not real when it goes down like this.
It's because they know that shit'll blow a hole through their goddamn chest, no matter what kind of bulletproof vest they got on.
They still want to live.
Right, because they're people.
That's what cops are like. Ants. They swarm. You know what I'm saying? Like, a motherfucker got a gun, like, okay, cool, 37 of us gonna shoot this motherfucker. Like, that's how they get you. It's not, this ain't Die Hard. I'm not, like, I know everybody's gonna call them cowards and stuff, and the reason I don't participate in that, not that y'all can't do it, I don't give a fuck if y'all do, but the reason I don't do the coward thing is because it's, to me, a distraction from the real point. We should not have these kind of weapons on the goddamn street.
Right.
We should not have to require them to be so brave that they sacrifice their lives, because we as a fucking country, and mostly as a Republican Party, can't say, maybe not the bump stocks, maybe not the fucking AR-15.
Right.
Maybe we calm that shit down. Maybe. You're not hunting deer with that. You're hunting people at this point in too many cases. And if it's only 0.0001%, it's 0.001% too fucking many.
Right.
Everybody should be willing to get their fucking guns back for us to never have to worry about mass shootings. But America's selfish and everybody's out for themselves. That's it. But yeah, they could have took this dude down. They didn't, or he didn't take his chance. He said, I'd rather live and fuck them people over there.
Right, because he was like, by the time I put off one round, he gonna be done shot me 5 times. Sound like he was a terrible shot, but that ain't the point. It's just for the fact that
maybe not that far.
He can still hit me, right? Because I'm closer than the president.
Yeah. Kodak Black called out the rapper Plies for criticizing Donald Trump's assassination attempt. So Plies did what a lot of people did, made a lot of jokes about it on social media. A lot of jokes was basically he faking it. Bruh faking being shot, trying to win an election. This shit crazy. He going really crazy. When all the school shootings was happening, it was no big deal. Remember, they loved guns, so this shouldn't be a big deal neither. Mainstream media hates this because now they forced to talk about something else. See God work, he doesn't like ugly. How's anybody shocked when, I think he meant shocked, he put socked, when the media political candidate has pushed hate for the last 8 years? Capitals have been rioted. Elections have been tried to be stolen. White supremacy back, marching in the streets, etc. Signs have been there, but the ratings were too good for many to turn down. He's spitting. So then Kodak Black responded, who is a longtime Trump supporter. Kodak Black, who I don't know anybody that really fucks with that dude like that. We ain't going for no Trump slander, bruh. You gotta get off that shit, Plies. Trump ain't did nothing to you, you feel me? You rich, bruh. We rich. Fall back. Love, cause shit can get mafioso, boy. So I guess threatening him essentially with that shit can get mafioso. Like he ready to threaten Plies over Trump jokes that Plies made, or good points in my opinion. Plies has not responded back to Kodak, but Kodak first revealed his support for Trump after the former president pardoned him in 2021 while he was serving a 4-year federal gun charge sentence. Here's the thing. It is a not so open secret that Donald Trump, along with the white dude from the Fire Festival, have been courting rappers and hip-hop adjacent people like Amber Rose to get them to support Trump, writing those Trump checks, the ones that actually, I guess, clear. I assume they get the money up front. I don't know how they're doing it. But these motherfuckers line up to do it. There's a reason Amber Rose speaking at the RNC after all that shit she said about feminism and womanhood and slut shaming and abortion, and even called Donald Trump out as a sexual assaulter after the Me Too movement. It's a reason she's over there, dog. It's a reason Azalea Banks endorsing Trump, and she also don't got enough money to pay her rent. Like, I don't put nothing past these motherfuckers, dog. I don't trust none of them to not have been. Hey, honestly, at this point, I hope you got a check. I hope you didn't do it for free.
Please don't do it for free. Don't dance for free, dog. That's stupid.
Yeah, Fire Festivals. Billy McFarland is arranging meetings with rappers for Donald Trump. This is on stereogum.com. Yeah, like whenever you see one of these head scratching endorsements, when you see Trump and 50 Cent piling around with Republicans in political office, hey man, money is changing hands or something, because these motherfuckers ain't explain why they did it. They never come out and give you some full throat of like, here's why I fuck with Trump. It's always just some ignorant bullshit talking point that makes you sound like you can't say you got a check, but that's it.
Right.
Yeah, Zelia Banks has once again stirred controversy, this time for political allegiances. She gave a clear indication who she plans to vote for in the upcoming presidential election when she was spotted attending a Donald Trump rally in Florida. She reposted a video on social media of her in the crowd and at the event and speaking into the camera, although her voice is drowned out by Trump's speech. After footage circulated, fans were quick to criticize her support for Donald Trump. I mean, like I said, I just also read something about her fucking not being able to pay her rent. So maybe choices had to be made. I don't know. You know? But yeah, man, that's, I wanted to talk about those things. I did notice no one really wanted to cover these polls. But they just keep being Joe Biden, the polls. But Newsweek, this is July 10th, which is a week after the debate, I believe. So who knows what it is now. But yeah, they had posted a thing about how people ain't abandoning Joe Biden.
Right. The fuck is this? Even the people that, and I do understand people's gripes. I do understand people not wanting him. I do understand people saying he old. I do understand people saying he fucked up doing debate. But when you sit down and talk to them, most of them will say, okay, but I'm still voting for Joe Biden. And that's all I care about. So
if you made a poll,
we're on the same page.
If you made a poll of all the people that are very critical of the debate, I don't blame them. I can't say that enough. But if you made a poll and the poll only said, would you vote for Joe Biden or Trump? Joe Biden is staying at the exact percentage he was before the fucking debate, because none of us is fucking stupid. We don't have to like it. You don't have to be a fave. This isn't a celebrity contest. This isn't who wants to be your friend. This is who can fucking do the job, who's gonna be better off for the country, and that's fucking it. So yeah, it's just, that I'm not surprised that those results were not showing that there was this huge drop off for Biden. I think there's people that are like, I didn't like that performance, all kinds of shit. I'm not knocking people for that. I think it's a human reaction. I felt terrible watching it, but it's just, I don't think the panic is going to subside at some point, and it has, because real news happened Saturday.
Real news happened.
And the luxury of quibbling over should an incumbent who ran a good administration and had one bad debate be just fucking gone,
right,
versus everything we're seeing right now, it just became it crystallized for a lot of folks. And like I said, it don't feel fair that this media climate is like, don't hurt nobody's feelings and bring up the dates. They the ones with the AR-15s at their rally. Oh, that's another thing someone pointed out. It's like, because of the laws in the state, now I don't know if this is true, so let me allegedly, but they were saying because of the laws in the state, it's not illegal for that person to have an AR-15 in the area where they was at.
I can see that, because so many states have so many wild gun laws, right?
I wouldn't be shocked. If that was true. I don't know if it's true, but I can't say I'd be shocked if you found out, like, well, legally you can't just fucking, like, you can have a gun there, because all the gun laws are crazy like that.
Right, and a lot of states have laws where you don't have to get a license, you don't have to get training, you just go and just be like, here my money, give me a gun.
The DOJ opposes the return of the QAnon Shaman's helmet and spear. That was, that dude. Then he wanted to be vegan in prison and shit like that, and he's like, what? They don't serve gluten-free lunch?
Bitch, no.
I didn't know y'all talking about prison, that dude. Yeah, he want his helmet and spear back, and the DOJ is like, no.
The fuck are we gonna give it back to you for? This is evidence. No.
Right.
They probably done burnt that shit. Get out my face.
You know what it made me think, though? They want this shit back because they can feel that it's about to be up again. They don't regret nothing other than having to go to jail.
Yeah.
They do that shit today.
Yeah.
They lied and cried in court, but they all do that shit today. And I can't blame them, because what lesson has America taught them? Really? They refuse to hold the leader of this fucking insurrection accountable in any way.
Right.
Eileen Cannon just fucking dismissed the document lawsuit. Now it'll probably get challenged and appealed, and fucking either she'll get kicked off the case or it'll come right back to her, because she basically tried to say the constitutionality of appointing a special prosecutor is like, it's unconstitutional. And the Supreme Court has always ruled that it is constitutional. It's happened multiple times before.
Right.
I think Kenneth Starr was one. It also would mean that the conviction of Hunter Biden would have to be overturned, because that was a special prosecutor appointed in that.
That lady nuts.
So Eileen Cannon is just on the take. She's corrupt, I think. I don't know any way that someone can watch how she's ruled.
She's rude, and they've had to turn back. Hey, bitch, you don't know what the fuck you doing.
Yeah, she's been appointed by Trump. I don't think it's you don't know what the fuck she's doing. I think that's the kindest way, and a lot of fair people have given her that. It says she's just in over her head. I think she's just on Trump. She's in the bag for Trump.
Oh yes, she's in the bag with Trump, and she don't know what she's doing. I think both of them are true.
I feel, you know what, Karen, you can have that, but I don't know enough about how court works to even be telling somebody that someone doesn't know what they're doing. I think also a lot of people fake ineptitude to cover their malfeasance. So
I can see that too.
It's like, I guess I just made a mistake. All these documents, it's so hard. But I don't know, the 95th fucking time that you've done something that no one else thinks is a good idea, I'm starting to think maybe you're doing that on purpose.
I can see that.
Maybe you could do better. And you just keep not doing better. And so the impartial, the fair people say stuff like, well, she's just in over her head. I listen to Sisters-in-Law. She's just in over her head. I'm like, I don't know, dog. Is she in over her head, or is she in on the fucking take?
I think she's in on the take.
Yeah, maybe she is incompetent, but I don't know. She competent to keep delaying this motherfucking trial.
She's smart enough to do that, ain't she?
But yeah, so shout out to them for not giving this motherfucker his shit back. He shouldn't get it back.
I burn it in his face.
All right. Ridiculous. All right. Is there anything else I felt like talking about? No. I said we do an hour. It's an hour. Because of the way Crowdcast works, guys, we're trying to save time. We have like a max of a certain amount of hours every month.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're over halfway there, and it's only been 15 days, or we got like 18 days left. So anyway, short episode tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was just us talking about this election shit and Trump shit and the fallout. And we'll get to some funny stuff and some other, and of course Game of Thrones later in the week. So until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Bye. Bye.